Today, for our gospel, we have a continuation of the story we heard yesterday, which was the beginning of the presentation in the temple. And yesterday, the focus of the passage was on Simeon and his recognizing Jesus Christ, and the famous words that he says to Mary, where he tells her that Jesus will be the rise and fall of many, but also, too, that a sword shall pierce her heart, that she'll be experiencing many of the challenges, the difficulties, and the hardships that Jesus Christ himself faced. And of course, we know that is very true because Mary was with Jesus, not only at his birth, but also at the foot of the cross. But today we have, for our focus, somebody different. We have Anna, who St. Luke tells us is a prophetess. And he also mentions, too, that she was often in the temple, worshiping God, fasting and praying. So she was certainly somebody who was very devout. But you know, St. Luke could have just left the story at that and would have heard about this woman who was there, who was a witness. But he goes on to mention how when she sees this child, she can't help but tell everybody who's in the vicinity all about the child and pointing out who this child will one day be. I think that we see that she's not just somebody who is very faithful and very devout, but she's also somebody who's very enthusiastic and excited about her faith and wants to share this. And as I was reflecting on this a bit, I thought about all the years that I've been involved in parishes, whether it's the parish that I grew up in when I was a child, whether or not it was the parish of the school where I had at one time had taught, whether it was the parishes that I was assigned to work at when I was in the seminary, or certainly the parishes that I've been assigned to minister at since ordination. And there are a number of people, I think, that could probably be described as Annas, though they might not necessarily be of the same age, and they might not necessarily be spending all of their time in the church. Their enthusiasm for the faith is contagious. You know, I was thinking about a woman who was in one of my parishes, who could be a woman in so many other parishes, where she was never afraid to strike up conversations with people. Yet somehow in the conversation, the subject of faith came in. And she not only witnessed to the faith, but there were many people that she was actually able to bring back to the church and bring to the sacraments. Another woman who I knew in one of my parishes was a regular volunteer at the parish's food pantry, and also was very involved with St. Vincent de Paul. And she was always able to recognize the presence of Christ in others. She knew which people needed to be served. She also was able to recognize which people might want to be on the serving end, where they reach out to others. And she was able to bring them into the wider community. There was a deacon who I met when I was on vacation in the summer. He was at a parish on the Cape. And I don't know how this man knew everybody's name who walked in that church, but somehow he did. And he was always talking with people, and it would be very common that when I'd be leaving church, he would call me over and he'd want to introduce me to a family that was from Connecticut or New Jersey or Pennsylvania. And then he would tell me about what they were doing in their parish and what their children were involved with. And he just made them feel so welcome. And he was not only enthusiastic about his faith, but he brought out their enthusiasm as well. And I could probably go on because as I was reflecting on this, actually about 14 different names and different people came to mind. And as I was thinking about this, especially reflecting on it during the Christmas season, at this time of the year, and also with so many of the things that are going on in our world, and all the concerns and worries we have, all the divisions, all the things that make life not easy. how great it would be if we had people who were enthusiastic about their faith and witnessed to their faith in a powerful way. But you know, if I were to mention to any one of these people that they're very much like Anna, and they're very prayerful and enthusiastic about their faith, they'd probably say no. They'd point maybe to somebody else. But I think this also says a bit about all of us. We can all have this enthusiasm, and maybe we do have it and don't always realize it. And that enthusiasm for our faith, whether it's lived out at a parish level, whether it's lived out simply at home, maybe caring for a loved one, maybe being somebody who might be in need of services, but has people such as visiting nurses or attendants who care for them. Just being enthusiastic about our faith and spreading the gospel message and the great news that is the birth of Jesus Christ is something that is so important today. I think it's something that we see in the person of Anna, who we meet in the gospel today. There's many other Annas in our faith community, but we're also called too to be like her and enthusiastic about our faith and witnessing to the gospel.